In a small apartment in Hangzhou, China, 18 people gathered around a young visionary named Jack Ma. The year was 1999, and the internet was still a mystery to most. Jack had a bold idea, an online marketplace that would connect buyers and sellers across China. Many called him crazy. There was no infrastructure, no logistics network, and no trust in online transactions. But Jack and his team refused to be discouraged. "If these things don't exist," he declared, "we'll build them ourselves." The early days were grueling. When they launched Taobao, their first platform, no one came. For 5 days, the site sat empty. Determined to spark activity, Jack and his team began buying their own products, filling their tiny apartment with useless items just to prove the system worked. It was a strange and desperate move, but it planted the seed of trust. Slowly, sellers began to join, and buyers followed. The dream was alive, but the road ahead would be far from easy. The dot-com bubble had just burst, and skepticism about the internet was at an all-time high. When Jack Ma traveled to Toronto with a group of Chinese internet entrepreneurs, many of his peers were ready to give up and return to traditional business, but Jack refused. "I believed in e-commerce," he later recalled. "I believed in the internet." While others abandoned their dreams, he held on, even as investors rejected him. No one wanted to fund an online marketplace in China. Until one day, SoftBank took a chance. Rejection became a daily reality. Jack learned to embrace failure, seeing each no as a lesson rather than a defeat. He found inspiration in unlikely places, like the movie Forrest Gump. "Life is like a box of chocolates," he reminded himself. "You never know what you'll get." That mindset kept him going. By 2003, Taobao was gaining traction, but the real test was yet to come, competing against giants like eBay, which had just entered the Chinese market. eBay was a global powerhouse, and when it launched in China, many assumed Taobao would crumble. But Jack Ma saw an opportunity. While eBay charged sellers listing fees, Taobao offered free listings, winning over small businesses. Jack knew that in China, trust was everything, so he introduced Alipay, an escrow system that ensured buyers only paid when they received their goods. The strategy worked. Sellers flocked to Taobao, and eBay eventually retreated from China. The victory was sweet, but Jack remained focused on the bigger picture. "We're not just building a company," he told his team. "We're building an ecosystem." Alibaba expanded into cloud computing, digital payments, and logistics, creating an infrastructure that would support millions of businesses. By 2014, Alibaba went public in the largest IPO in history, raising $25 billion. Yet, Jack knew this was only the beginning. By 2018, Alibaba's platforms, Taobao, Tmall, and AliExpress, boasted over 500 million users with $550 billion in annual sales. The company had revolutionized retail in China, empowering small businesses, women entrepreneurs, and rural sellers. Jack's vision of an inclusive digital economy was coming to life, but he refused to slow down. "We're still small," he insisted. "Our mission isn't done." The next frontier was globalization. Jack envisioned a world where anyone, anywhere, could sell to anyone else within 72 hours. He invested in AI, logistics networks, and cross-border payment systems, preparing for a future where "made in China" would become "made on the internet." The world was changing, and Alibaba was leading the charge. Jack Ma stepped down as Alibaba's chairman in 2019, but his legacy lived on. The company continued to innovate, embracing AI, big data, and the Internet of Things. Jack turned his attention to education and philanthropy, believing that technology should serve humanity. "The next revolution isn't about muscles or distance," he said. "It's about freeing the mind." As the world entered a new era of digital trade, Jack's words echoed. Most people see to believe, leaders believe to see. The journey from 18 people in an apartment to 500 million users was proof that with persistence, even the wildest dreams could become reality. And for those willing to fight, the future was limitless.